Greetings, everyone. Nathan Nerdarch here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. And I'm hanging out with a nerd.
I am Kienata, and tonight we're going to find out how terrifying little friendly creatures can be. Tonight is the not normally scheduled Monster Mash.
Yes. At the new time. New bat.
At the new time.
Same bat channel, whatever. Don't sue
Same
me,
bat
please.
place.
If we both say a slice of it, right?
There's licensing for saying something. Do you think it's saying same bat channel, same bat place?
I have no idea.
Somebody's going to be like, those kids.
I don't know. No idea. But what I do know is we were talking earlier, and we wanted to just add a little bit of something to monsters. So we just started discussing just... actually, it came up that Kuveric, James Leslie, you know, whichever one you're in, that's what you are. He just mentioned he'd like, I'd like to see monsters or, you know, a NPC with class levels added to it, or something else like mashed together with it to give it that kind of oomph. And we just started talking about, you know, well, like just adding a fighter level, like one single or two, because you get action surge then.
Yeah.
One or two fighter levels to a goblin makes it terrifying.
Yeah, one fighter level on a goblin. Just one.
Yeah, and then you imagine, well, you just added one level and that's it. And then you have like 6 or 7 of these goblins who would normally be smashed by the party, being quite a challenge for them.
I wasn't even thinking of like going against a player party. I was just thinking one goblin. If you gave him one level of fighter, there are orcs that would be scared of him.
Oh,
like hobgoblins would be like, we're going to hire out this one goblin because he's a killing machine.
He is the Goblin King.
Yeah, compared to everyone around him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you brought it up. And when I was thinking earlier, I was like, yeah, I mean, even just a tank, if like make something a little tanky, like take a veteran and give him the rage ability. I did that to an Orog, and it was pretty nasty. I later made it up to the party by having it be have been a magic item that gave it resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, instead of just be like, nope, you get nothing for fighting that really terrible awful monster.
Jan, Winnie the Fox, James Leslie, and Voltaire, hello, welcome, and everyone else lurking. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, and if people could tell me, I left the music on in the background, which is Corruption. It's Kevin MacLeod. But anyway,
Yes.
I left that in the background because I've got still awake kids, and I'm hoping it just kind of keeps them away, like sound-wise, like it doesn't just overpower.
A little white noise.
Yeah, so let me know if that's too loud, because I'm usually soft-spoken on the channel.
Zoom.
Yeah. And that'll help me out for understanding if I need to lower it or raise it. Barely noticeable? Great. How are my kids? Are they barely noticeable? Because if the songs and my children are on the same level, I think we've got a good mix here. Oh, Goblin Shadow Sorcerer. Voltaire Rewind. That's good times.
If you're playing World of Warcraft, Orc Warlock doesn't sound like a weird combination. If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, Orc Warlock sounds terrifying, and you want to know how much Warlock is in that Orc.
Yeah, like a little tiny bit, or are we talking
Just
like
a splash of Warlock, or are we talking like 6th level here? Because that's scary. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things, well, orcs currently have a few different things. I mean, they've got their Eye of Grumsh, their Hand of Urtrus, and Orc Claw of Luthic. And they're all like CR2. And even an Orc War Chief, who's got pretty nifty abilities, is still CR4. So if you could say to yourself, I'm going to just stack on Warlock levels onto my War Chief, make him an Orc Warlock Chief. I think that could work out.
Here's what I was thinking. What if we took a themed creature
Okay.
that kind of already fits a character class, and some people can kind of see they can only see the side with the Dracolich picture. Do you know what's on the other side of the monster manual? What if you
This is going to be embarrassing. I'm
Doppelganger.
Yes, it's doppelganger. Okay, good. I was
Yeah.
right. I was like, do I know how to spell and alphabetize things?
Doppelganger rogue.
Oh yeah.
Because you'd get like the persuade or doppelganger bard, either one. Bard might even be a better choice.
He's just missing sneak attack. Actually, he's missing assassin.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know what to do. Doppelgangers are so weak. What am I supposed to do with them? I'll just slap assassin right onto him. Well,
exactly.
How about we do a rogue and then we do an assassin? I kind of like this idea.
Okay.
So what we're going to talk...
Because doppelganger, seriously, and I think at some point we should show the contrast of how redonkulous it is to put a level of fighter on a goblin. Because that contrast is insane. The change in hit points, I mean, it's nanner pants.
Yeah, and when you say, well, that's just the run-of-the-mill goblin now that you run into because you're in, like, you know, the goblin's kingdom or something, or deep in the mines. So we're just going to name them as they are right now.
I have a question from Zim, and this really is kind of pertinent to what we're working on. We're talking about kind of characterizing monsters, adding character classes to them. Zim's question is there a smart way to go about giving spells to NPCs? And if they are carrying a magic item, do you let them use it? I always let them use it.
Yes. And if it's a consumable magic item, so much the better. As long as you don't hand them out like candy. You know, an adventuring creature that has intellect, like a doppelganger rogue, would probably have a healing potion or freedom of movement scroll, depending on like level, how many levels you add, stuff like that.
A ring of regeneration?
Perhaps a ring of regeneration, though you wouldn't want to necessarily get the party in on that.
Yeah.
Or a death ward. Heck, I mean, every once in a while, giving a villain a death ward, especially if you try and flaunt them in front of the characters, can be like the saving his bacon. Yes. So, good point about the magic items. Yes, I would absolutely do it, and if they can use it, so much the better. Especially if it's thematic. For example, if it's a sword that they've taken from some hero, and they're now using it for nefarious purposes, especially if it corrupts the item in any such way, like basically like a goodly person be like, you shouldn't have that because you're scum of the earth or something.
Scum of the earth.
Scum of the earth.
I did NPC orcs that were frost types, so they were all barbarians, rangers, and druids. That is fun. I like the idea of keeping it thematic based on locale. Voltaire is all about seeing a goblin fighter. And remember, this isn't playable character class goblin fighter. This is goblin add fighter on top, which is a whole different animal.
Goblin
you end up with
fighter frosting.
A small ogre.
Really, really tough. Comparatively speaking, I mean, you throw it against ridiculous level characters, and it's going to get its face ripped off. But
Winnie, even if that's a typo, you said frost, so I assumed you meant like snowy mountains and tundra and things like that. Forest is interchangeable. Yeah, absolutely. So just like all the forest people, and then character classes for that. The ogre ranger.
That's a nice combo, especially if you do Beastmaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just ignore, I mean, like use its ogre hit dice plus its ranger hit dice to make that choice, that monster choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good combination. And it's, you're just using rules right out of the book, just slapping them together a little different.
Goblin Gloomstalkers, especially riding spiders. Yes, that would be quite entertaining.
Gloomstalkers. I don't think. Is that from Volos? I haven't read all of Volos. I'm falling behind.
It's okay. It's okay. I have so many things I do every day that
it is good.
Yeah. It's okay to fall behind for a little while. You'll catch up, and it's not like you have to reread the book because it changes later.
Yeah, and that's true. When I have extra time, I go back to D&D Beyond and read my copies. So that I can read them anywhere that I have internet access in my laptop.
I gave wild surges to a storm giant sorcerer and he fireballed himself. What? Do you need to bark at something, Peanut? Go get him. Go get him.
Now,
Go get him.
okay, so nice thing about Doppelganger is it already has a surprise attack.
So it would get bonus surprise attack.
It would get surprise attack, and it would get when it sneak. And obviously, it can sneak attack while it's doing surprise attack because it doesn't cost any action. It just occurs with the attack during the first round of combat. So if it hits with an attack during the first round, the target takes an extra 3d6 damage. So it's kind of built in. So realistically, I'm just gonna up this. Let's say just 5d6.
Yeah,
that's nasty enough. And
well,
it's add,
you're talking. You think you're talking to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
You don't even have your hand on your sword. Like you're just chilling out. If he whips a blade out and tries to take you out, I mean, I know you're heroic, but nobody is going to be expecting that.
And then we'll just make a note about sneak attack.
Cardboard Fortress, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Cardboard Fortress. So for sneak attack, I'm just going to say, follow the regular rules rather than replace it and redo it all there.
No,
actually,
we don't need to redo everything.
What you could do is you could put that rule in a bit of text someplace and then just reference it, and it will just it'd be something you could click to go to.
I concur.
It's a world fortress, a world Anvil trick that I'm not going to do here because it is time consuming because it's not.
Yeah,
right.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live. I'll just do it live. Cardboard Fortress, we are taking a monster and then grab character class, smush character class on top. New monster or player nightmare, whatever you.
And this is a suggestion from Kuvaric or James Leslie, whichever way you know him as. And I apologize for my green screen in the back. I'm just pointing out.
Wonky? It looks fine to me.
Yeah, it's a little wonky. It's starting to show, and I didn't change anything, and it looked okay when I started, I think.
Oh, so. Nate. Oh, Nate.
My technology. It's quantum technology, I swear. It just changes when you look at it. I just assume it's going to do bad things, and it doesn't, and then I vindicate it.
It only exists in the way you presume it exists when it's being measured. Is that quantum technology?
Let's go with that.
I had an excellent idea. Zim said, does this mean the creature I did a lot of streaming today already.
Yeah, you're over 5 hours, aren't you?
Does this mean creatures could technically take a feat? Heck yes, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good suggestion.
Pile it on.
And they could also do stat bumping if you wanted to. You don't need to make it super complicated. Just say, I want to bump this guy's dex up to 18 instead of 16, or I want to add a feat. They could have just got 3 levels of the class. It's kind of loose. I mean, you're already sticking a class on a monster, so it's kind of loose with the rules, how you want them. Yeah. If you want to make them a dungeon delver and have charge, just be like, well, they specialized in these abilities, and there you go. All fine.
A troll with dungeon delver in charge. No problem. Anybody can deal with that. Cardboard Fortress says, can I request a monk clam? I don't think we have clam stats. Barbarian bugbear. A bugbarian.
A bugbarian.
Let's see here. A monk kraken. I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like.
You can imagine a step of the wind with that thing.
Yeah. So the next leap is hopefully the leap home. That is the worst quantum leap joke ever. You win. I give up. I'm out. Good luck, Nate. No.
Oh, we've lost the Kienata.
18, 14. Yeah, Jan, green screen chroma filter is a fickle thing. It just a slight change of lighting in the room, and all of a sudden your green screen doesn't work anymore.
I've noticed my camera doesn't really like me turning my face sideways, because that's how it went all kinds of red craziness the one time, like purple red. It would do that like 3 or 4 times, and if I leaned a certain way, it was like...
when we play Spelljammer and I put a huge black thing up behind me, if I go too far out of shot, it will immediately radiate me. It looks like an angel has landed in my office or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go with regular stats because he's got 18 already. We don't need to make it any worse.
I think we should make everything worse. I think if there's... Seriously, if we're going to do this, I want to just take a creature and go, what happens if I'm a character class? If I were a player, would I pick this?
Okay,
yes.
So it's third level. I mean, it's CR3 normally. So if I give it 3 rogue levels, I feel like that could bump it to a 5, but...
I feel like you're right. I feel like your instincts are good.
I feel like it's a 4.5, but no. I'm always in favor of the players getting more XP, so I'm doing it for the players, giving it a challenge rating 5.
Doing it for the players. Azerift, what's up, dude? What site is this you're using to make it? Zim, this is World Anvil.
Yes, it's a pretty spiffy site. Really enjoy using it. It's a little bit more on the front end, but it gives you something that you can add to other documents, and you can kind of make like a giant linkable arrangement of articles that lets you quickly kind of cycle through the different things you've created. So rather than going like, I've got 50 PDFs and there's no linkage going on, this is like a fully integratable bits. So, for example, there is a block, this is called, and you can reference this block. You can grab it either way, and you can reference this block in other articles, and it will link directly to it. You can also do this with a few other things. I don't remember all the things, but it's quite extensive, and he's doing new things all the time.
You can get the bulk of the features for free. You can get slightly more features if you just give $3 a month on their Patreon. And thank you for the link, James Leslie. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, World Anvil is amazing, helpful, useful. They have a massive community on Discord if you want immediate access to a person to help you. And I ask some pretty noob starter freshy questions all the time, and they're always happy to answer them. So get in there, get a piece of the action. It's good stuff.
Another nice thing I like about it is you can put in a roll colon and then what you would like to roll. I'm probably doing this longer than it takes.
It's okay. It's okay. You've been sick the past few days. You're in recovery mode. Take your time.
It's just nice that I'm even here. I feel good enough to actually like feel alive and doing things. So
yeah.
All right. So the cool thing is, I'll show you. When you have something like brackets, roll colon, you can then view the page of it. It still needs a bit of cleaning up, but it automatically does these here. And you can say, well, I want different hit points. And you know what? It's not going to show up. I'll have to fiddle with the stream. Hold on. I want to show everybody the cool feature.
Show me the cool feature.
There.
I want to see the cool feature.
It's behind my head. Okay, so you hit the button, and it rolls down in the corner of your screen. So you could do like dex saving throws, or you can also put attack features in here. You could do this damage as a roll. So you just click on it because you're interacting with the data anyway. I did it for my character for Ted's game, and while we were playing, I just ported things over into World Anvil from what I had originally had it in. And then I just could roll directly from it. Because I always forget my dice. It's a dirty secret I have. I always forget my dice.
Sign of a true veteran D&D player. I never remember dice.
Yeah,
I always borrow other people's dice.
Well, hey, ever since I had the computer age hit, I'm at least able to remember my character. Because I just bring the character.
Fragginator, monster, player character class, like an ice cream topping. Put character class on top, evil thing, done. That's the name of the game tonight. And Nate is still ridiculously ill, apparently.
Yes. Thankfully, none of you can catch this through the internet.
I got a virus. Oh.
We're not doing deadly viruses this week.
I know, we did so much evil crap. If you guys go back and watch our old monster mash stuff.
It was all for helping people make their games. It just happens to be that people have to be evil to be the dungeon master most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of most of the stuff filled out. So basically we just added a sneak attack, we're gonna add a few hit dice to this instead of leaving it as it is. So excuse me.
We should add on the rogue's hit dice, like
Yes.
verbatim.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just adding it.
Nice.
We do not need to do all this fancy pants stuff.
No,
I'm just gonna do it straight out.
It can be easy pasting.
I'm just gonna guess that's 70. It might not be. But it's behind Kienata's head, so who knows?
That is not how you math. Do you even math, bro?
Roll your own, all right? That's what I'm sticking to, is roll your own. Roll your own monster hit points. And we're gonna keep the skills and stuff the same, though those are not the doppelganger skills.
Heyo from Denmark. It's been a while. I'm not gonna say your name right, but I'm gonna try. Rini Henkel. Either way, I need to go to bed. It's 3:30 a.m. here. Please go to bed.
Well, that's like my staying up way too late time. But thanks for watching, hanging out. What am I doing? That's another thing. I'm kind of
flaky from being sick, and it's okay, and we're all okay with you
I've
being
got
flaky.
fever brain.
It's all right.
I haven't cleared the fever brain out. Okay, so I'm going to say this is done. You got the idea.
Exactly.
There's a little bit not finished, but that could be in the post.
Easy Kingslayer. Easy Kingslayer. Oh my god. Some things just exploded. Okay. We're good.
That wasn't me.
Nope, it was me. A bunch of stuff exploded on my end.
Okay.
But we're good now. Give him bard levels. My favorite assassins are bards, not rogues. We did pass around the idea of bards. The whole idea is to just kind of show how a person would add character class levels to a monster. And I think you guys will definitely do your own takes on this, but it does completely change the creature.
Yeah, and don't forget, I did not do it, but don't forget if you do change any stats to alter the hitting, like how much their plus is to hit, what their damage is. If you've added enough hit dice, make sure to increase their proficiency, which is going to change their skills, which is going to change their overall proficiency bonus. So that's going to affect everything that would normally occur as if you were a player that gained levels. So kind of keep the skills for making players level up is the same kind of thing you're going to look at for we just gained 4 levels. What do I do? So just imagine the monster just gained 4 levels and it's all fighter. What does that look like? What does that do to all the statistical stuff in it?
Brian Smith said something, and I have a counter to it. Doppelgangers are always going after politicians, but what if they don't want political power, but maybe impersonate some gladiator who everybody thought was dead and just never fight anybody? What if they get barbarian levels and they do fight somebody? What if that's kind of your explanation? What if it's a doppelganger who's completely split from the norm? Yeah.
So rather than just make a doppelganger bard add-on, I'm going to go to the character levels and the classes and talk about the really key stuff I'd add as a bard or things you might want to consider. And one of the major things that you'd want to consider is they'd be better at skills overall. And I really feel, I don't know, I think Bardic Inspiration might be a little too far. Do you know what I mean?
Why? Whoa, why? Why is that too far? No! Give me all of it. I want to make a creature that we can always up the CR. I want this thing to get handed to a GM and the GM to be like, God, I don't want a party kill tonight. I hope this goes okay. That's what I want.
Well, if you want to make it a little more fightery, you could do I would say at least go to the level of where you're going to have the college. So if you're going to add any class, I would say at least add enough of the class that it puts you on a track for something. So it's like a specialization. Because if you like it, you can always say, well, this is a wizard evoker goblin. instead of a wizard necromancer. I added necromancer to some of the goblins I created in one of my Hold of the Mordanes campaign. The previous one, not the one that's actually got video up. And it was pretty terrifying because of the added usage that you get. And you killed goblins, but you ran away. So guess what? You're fighting goblin zombies and goblin skeletons next time. Because there's a necromancer that's got the ability to deal with raising the dead the evil way.
The evil way. There's a good way to do this. There's a good necromancy.
Yeah, it's called resurrection and stuff.
Oh, okay.
See what I did there? You were expecting something else. You were expecting something else. I knew it. So, yeah, I would take the major things I would take would be the Bard College, where you're going to get access to extra weapons. Let's say you were doing Doppelganger, or you go the other way and do more of like a Spy Master Doppelganger. Because they already get the surprise attack, so they already do like a little bit of extra damage anyway. And being able to tag, either have an ally, like maybe they always have a person. If you figure out it's a Doppelganger, but no one else does, the fighters and stuff protecting that guy that are on the payroll, they're still going to try and kill you for hurting the guy. No matter that you're like, he's a Doppelganger. Well, no one else, I mean, you could...
What if they're unscrupulous and they're like, meh, I don't care. Paycheck's a paycheck.
They could also be like that. But let's say they're like a paladin or something, and they just don't know. And it never occurred to them to do that. Or he's got some kind of charm against discovery.
Okay, Neil, of course it's a doppelganger.
Yeah,
whatever. Kill him.
Yeah, I think you're going to either have to put away that sword or we're going to take it from you. Yeah, so those are situations where you're not going to need a few of the skills. But this is where Bardic Inspiration can really come in handy. So if it's key things you want to use, you can tag on Bardic Inspiration and call it whatever you want and add it to any monster, really. It's a cool ability. And if you want to say, hey, this is the leader, so he can just inspire people. That's all you got to say. And you just slap it on there.
I like this. Quite a bit. Large Bud Gaming has said really close to a DM player character. And I guess we're definitely not trying to give the idea of a DM player character. We're definitely trying to make it so that you have more variety. I think ultimately the best way to use something like this is to say, I need to specialize X. I need a doppelganger who has been impersonating a wizard or been in the tutelage of a wizard, and this crazy old wizard never even noticed or didn't care that it was a doppelganger and just kept teaching it, and now there's a doppelganger level 4 wizard or whatever.
Okay, so I'm gonna cry nay on the definition of what a DM player character is. A DM player character is specifically a character that the DM has inserted into the game and probably travels around with the party and does stuff. Like if Gandalf was the DM, the DM controlled Gandalf, that would be a DM player character. He's there sometimes, but he just gets in messes with everything. You're just like, come on, either stay here the whole time so we can actually like count on you, or get the heck out.
I think Gandalf was a DM player character, and he kept showing up and stealing the scene all the time. And the party finally, after one of the game sessions, was like, "That's enough, dude." And so the GM gave him the super epic death with the Balrog.
Yeah, gotta save him from the trolls. Gotta save him from this. Gotta save him from that. Gotta save him from the Balrog, and I'll kill him off, but not kill him off.
I know. Awesome spellcasting and sword fighting. Dude was a whiz with a sword.
Well, super awesome spellcasting for the area, for the type of spellcasting available. Yes, he was top of the line. So that would be a DM player character. This is you're looking probably to murder the players with this if they don't pay attention. Or it's another challenge for the players. So
this
I would say
territory.
I would say nay, that it is not a player character. Unless you were trying to get in and have I'm going to have a goblin. It's going to have fighter level so it can hang with them. and now he's like in the party and they like him.
And he did Large Bud Gaming did clarify and said, I love the idea of adding player classes to monsters for sure. I like the idea of adding feats to them as well, but for my own use, my personal taste, this would definitely be the kind of thing where I have a very specific situation in mind, and the easiest way for me to make the creatures I'm using conform to that situation would be to just add some levels to them in a character class.
What were some of the creatures that we were going to talk about?
I think everyone would like to see.
Go ahead.
A goblin fighter.
A goblin fighter? No,
here's
I know
a goblin.
You would like to see a goblin fighter.
Well, just here's a goblin. Here's what happens if you take a level 1 fighter and glue it on top.
Okay.
Here's a killing machine. And be thankful, goblins used to have a claw bite attack. I had a bunch of players go up against feral goblins who didn't have any melee weapons, and the players were like, these things are lame. We're going to slaughter them. They don't even have weapons. And they used to have claw bite, which meant D4, D4, D6. It was the equivalent of having like a 3-armed goblin with 2 daggers and a short sword. And they just rolled in there like, we're going to kill the goblins. And they were like dragging out dead friends by the end. It was amazing.
That is great. So I'm going to say this is Elite Goblin. I want to add 2 levels of fighter.
Oh my God.
Action Surge, baby.
For Action Surge, great. A goblin with Action Surge. The players will never expect this. It would be nice to give a little foreshadowing to your players. Like, this goblin is in really nice armor and has his hair in a top knot and and a really nice sword on his side, and he doesn't look like the rest of the goblins and has a British accent. Like, say something.
Give him a little bit of a warning.
Seems like you've stumbled in the wrong part of the woods, haven't you then? And the players are like, whoa, what is that?
And if they kill him, you can be like, oh well. Which, they're not, he's only going to have, he's got 7, so what is he going to have? 25 hit points,
That's the first time somebody sticks a goblin with a spear and is like, nice, 9 damage, dead goblin, and you're like, no, he looks injured though.
He doesn't care. So I'm gonna say that he wears scale mail, because I feel like that's something a goblin could get access to, like made out of like some kind of scale, and it's a cool thing that the players could have afterwards, even if it is just natural organic material scale. I mean, a druid might be happy with that.
Yeah.
So
Mott 21, thank you.
So armor class wise, I'm thinking that's going to be. Can someone do the scale mail plus shield for me? Plus
you get 1 from a shield.
Plus 2 dex. No, you get 2 from a shield.
What?
Shields are boss in this game. If you're a fighter, you better be using a shield. Or
I don't think I ever looked. I think I just assumed it was +1.
Oh yeah.
This is why I'm envious of everyone who's playing 5th edition and didn't play older editions. You don't mix anything up. You
don't mix every single edition around. Like the Rolodex just are all shuffled. So I'm going to say AC 17 is my guess for scale mail, shield.
James Leslie's on his A game, dude.
Dex.
He's got you covered. 17.
Oh yeah.
Cool, yeah, he said 15 chain and 2 shield.
Nice. Well, 15 chain there's actually scale mail, isn't there? And I think it's medium, so you get your AC bonus, right? Or is it scale is heavy? I don't remember.
You're literally gonna make me. Am I gonna have to open a book?
No, someone will do it. Please, please, internet.
Please, interwebs people, help us do things. We love you.
We're gonna do 25. We're gonna say, all right. Rather than it be 2d6, I'm gonna say it's. Well, it kind of follows the format. Okay, technically, to make it work out, I'm probably going to have to say it's 5d6 to kind of be on par with adding 2 levels of fighter.
See, if I were doing this, I would do it as literal. So I would do his normal hit dice
plus 2d10.
Plus 2d10.
Yeah, let's go for easy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to do any conversion.
Forget this complicated stuff.
The other thing is that if you change the averages if you use more d6 rather than d10. Because
Yeah, there's that. Well, let's say he gets 15 from fighter, and he already has 7, so he's going to be 22. And let's say he's a little hardier and has a 12 constitution. So he's going to get +4 to hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to roll with here.
14 plus 2. Alex C said it's 14 plus 2, not 15 plus 2. Scale is medium from Curtis Stinson, 14 AC. I think the one...
Well, he also has 14 decks.
Okay.
We can build a better goblin here. I believe in us.
Yeah, scale is 14.
So +2 for dex, +2 for shield.
And 17 with mobility.
Well, scale is 4. It has a 14 dex, so it's going to be a 16. And he's going to have a shield, so it's actually an 18.
Oh my god.
I was all excited. I was right, but it's actually worse than I thought.
We've got all kinds of stuff coming in.
So he'll actually have 26 hit points.
Excellent. 26 hit points.
Yeah, that's
when he
tough.
levels, can we add it to Constitution?
He's a goblin with more hit points and action surge and an 18 armor class. What do you want to do?
I want the crazy tanky goblin. I want players like scared. If they see one goblin dressed nice in good suit of armor with a sword and shield, and they fight him and he's tough, and then later on down the road they're meeting the Goblin King, and he's got 12 of these guys on either side of his throne room, like standing there, sword over shield. They're not going to mess with him. They'd be like, okay, we should parlay.
Yes. Weapons down, hands up.
Brian Smith said, what was this goblin's background, though?
He's probably the toughest goblin in his warden, and he may even train the youngins. There, that was it.
Either that.
He doesn't need to go to fighter. Okay, so this is the thing. He doesn't need to go to fighter school to be better at fighting, because the fighter classes just mean, here are rules that mean you're better at fighting than the guy who does not have these rules. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't need pro training to be competent. In fact, he's probably a little better than a second level fighter, because he had to learn it without like, he learned it by killing every single one of the people that got in his way that were weaker than him or just as strong as him, and he just got
he was
out by
captured and used in a fighting pit in a traveling circus.
He could also be that
Conan the Barbarian style, and became a killing machine, and then you're free, go, you're free. He was just freed one night. Super Conan ripoff. There you go.
Or he trains the other goblins.
And now he's ripped.
Yeah.
He's a tiny ripped goblin.
Because everybody else wants as much food as he gets for being the captain.
Oh yeah, right.
So he has to defend himself every single night. So maybe he even I might give him perception.
Jay Spence, as soon as you said Raider, my brain went directly to I'll drink from your skull. I don't know if you know that game. You might not know that game. It's called Mountain Blade Warband.
No.
Like these raiders, and they have like one voice line. They just say, I'll drink from your skull.
That's it? Just all the time, I'll drink from your skull.
Basically it.
So I'm actually going to give him perception.
Oh, I like that.
As his, like, I gained a fighter skill. Isn't that
Brian Smith said
fighter skill? Let's just say it is. And athletics. Let's give him athletics as well.
Nice.
So he can make up for his 8 strength.
Brian Smith said he had to dig his own fighting pit in every town. 8 strength is a lot of strength when you're the size of like a 10-year-old.
Yeah. They
like
get a stealth of +6. How does that happen? Did you just make him super sneaky? That's expertise, isn't it?
Just leave it. It's good stuff.
Okay, so I just need to, for the calculation purposes of, where they're at.
Oh, he should get dodge. Jay Spence.
Dodge or parry? I feel like parry would
Mm.
be more of a fighter thing. We could make. Well, you know what? We could make this guy one more level and give him Battle Master. Why not? We're in for 2 levels already.
I know. We might as well give him a 3rd level. He's only a level 3 fighter. If you tell people this is a level 3 fighter, no one would be scared of that
Yeah.
until they get in a fight with it.
Yeah, and then there's 10 of them guarding the Goblin King.
Yeah, exactly.
With some of them with magic items.
Dubba, yes, he has a shield.
Yes, he does. Alright, let's give him another fighter level. That'll give him 5 hit dice, so that'll be a good old +3. So, wait, is that a? Yeah, it's a +3.
Remember, if you have your monster manual or D&D Beyond next to you, you can open it, take a look at it, and look at what's on the screen and go, "Dear God, what have you done?"
we didn't make anything super OP. It's impressive, I think, for what we're working with. We've got a couple levels in fighter, and we've just got a goblin, and it's a tough fight. And you're not going to get. It's not a really big CR. I'm thinking it's like a 2-ish, like a little bit higher than a 2.
A white light, I think we're just trying to stick to giving it like actual character class stuff. A white light said, give it a legendary resistance and 5 levels of wizard. That is not where we're at right now.
If you had a goblin wizard, I would say if you want to special, that's another. I would say another topic for another day, but I think it works well in here because they're little layer actions, or layer actions a neat mechanic because you could say, well, the Goblin King's in his lair. So
You're scaring me right now.
He can do XYZ things. So he might be able to summon 1 to 2 goblins. He just by using his bonus action to call out.
And they just crawl out of the ground.
Yeah, they just crawl out, crawl over the side, of the throne, crawl behind some secret entrance. They're the guys counting in the treasure room, and they're like, "Oh no, that's the boss." They lock it up and come out. That kind of thing.
You're killing me right now.
What?
Or you're TPKing me right now.
It's all good. Everybody is just fine. Nothing bad to see here. So,
There's so many. We're not trying to just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks right now. We're just giving it the character class. We have blade ward, layer effects, legendary resistances going on. One of these days, I'm going to get you guys at a table with me, and I'll be like, "Hey, you remember that time you were talking about all that stuff to add to that creature in chat that one day?" Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that.
I wrote it down.
Got something for you.
You're still cool with that idea, right? Too late.
Too late. Okay, so we can look at here and say, I think evasive footwork might be nice since it is a dex-based fighter. So I'm going to give it evasive footwork, and I'm going to give it parry.
It makes me think of a goblin like hopping around and shifting his way like a fencer.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Have you ever seen, or have you ever thought of a goblin being that coordinated? I certainly haven't.
Well, they got a 14 dex. They're no slouch when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I kind of don't want to add too many other abilities because then it kind of keeps.
I think we're good.
Okay, but there is something I'd like to note in action.
You just said you don't want to add too many more abilities.
I didn't get to finish my sentence. There was going to be a butt there. A big butt. And one of those was action surge. We must add action surge.
Okay, before we finish this, I want votes in chat on what we should add a character class to. We're going to pick the character class. You guys pick the creature. And if all I see is Kraken and Tarask, you're done. You're done.
You did.
We'll pick the creature. So pick something interesting. Go! Go, chat. Go! Run! Type! Hit the keyboard.
All right. This does seem like a little bit too many abilities.
Dude. Well, if it looks like a player character, yeah, you have a lot of abilities.
This is true. So I'm going to put a note. I'm going to put these at the bottom. And they are going to be putting a note about using the Battlemaster rules.
How nasty? I'm just seeing all the creatures pop up. How nasty do we want to go here? Give me an approximate CR.
Let's do a high one because I want to show people that you shouldn't just slap the class on.
Okay. Ooh, the 19th, a Medusa.
Oh yeah, Medusa.
If you're not positive on them, that's another one. Large Bud Gaming said Grimlock.
Grimlock.
Fraginator said a Drider, and Ryguy said Beholder, and Beholder sticks out to me only because you don't think of a Beholder as anything but like a spellcasting death machine.
There was a character I played, which was a spellcasting death machine, and it was a Beholder Archmage in 3/5, and it was good. It was very good. It probably
something you haven't done before then. Minotaur, I played a bunch of Minotaurs back when the expansions came out. They had like seafaring Minotaurs, and we always laughed about like hooves on hardwood boats and how badly that goes and that it doesn't work. Like if you ever want to read about why Minotaurs would not be a seafaring culture, open up a book about medieval culture and read about transporting horses in boats and what they had to do to keep the horses standing still because their hooves slide on the wood. There's no Minotaurs piloting seafaring vessels across the ocean blue. It ain't happening. So,
they just have to control the rubber market, the rubber tree market.
Yeah, apparently.
Because then they can make footwear.
Rubber, what was it? Rubber, well, I don't even know what it's called anymore.
They have gecko hooves.
They have gecko hooves. Thousands of tiny hairs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They just shoot out like Glitter Boy style. Pylons into the ground whenever they walk. They got to replace decks every year, but
Driders already come with stuff. Grung, Revenant, Medusa. I like the idea of a Medusa because that thing's already just bad news. A Medusa with barbarian levels.
With barbarian levels?
That utilizes, it's going to be getting in your face. Okay. Every time you see a Medusa shooting a bow. That's how it's always depicted. Forget the bow.
So Grung are a playable character race, so I'm going to exclude them.
Yeah.
Rust monster. Medusa Bard. Oh, man.
But you always see them in these nobody's ever seen a Medusa Barbarian.
Probably not. You probably not. Oh, black pudding.
And you can't look her in the eye, and she's on top of you with a giant axe or a big, gorgeously
it's a hammer.
Sword.
It's a giant hammer.
It's a giant. I'm into that too. A giant hammer with a ridiculous anime oversized head on it. That she's just crush.
Okay.
Smashing old statues and stuff.
I think you've sold me on the petrifying barbarian giant hammer thing.
She petrifies people and then just smashes them to bits.
We've still got plenty of time, everybody. So
yeah, there's going to be more.
There'll be better. There'll be still time to choose yours. Just not everybody's. All right, so we're going to.
Brian Smith,
Snake Lady,
said Medusa needs range because PC weenies stay out of range. PC weenies are smart weenies, I'll tell you that. Don't go anywhere near a Medusa if you don't have to.
Yeah, so we're going to go straight to checking out what a Medusa is because I don't have it memorized. Oh, CR6? Not after we had barbarian levels. All right, so what are we looking at? We got
Fenrir. Before we started this, I literally had my monster manual open to Myconoids. I was like, if anybody needs a character class, it's Myconoids.
Yeah, they need some serious help.
Rakshasa Bard.
Oh yeah, Rakshasa.
Very cool.
That could be end of the campaign boss right there. Especially if you use them most of the game, and they had they've got their claws. Their opposable weirdness claws.
Opposable weirdness claws?
Yeah, the six digit claws or whatever. Does that go backwards? Barbarian. That's what we're doing.
A Medusa barbarian.
Nope.
Maybe we could do something interesting for her snakes. Because she's so different from other Medusas.
I am failing at picking what I want to look at. Classes, thank you.
You're good. Take your time. Like really disgusting loose skin, like the skin on the neck of a turtle, like loose skinned, turtle headed looking Medusa braids or something. Something really different. You'd be like, what is that?
How about she's kind of like the other type of Gorgon and she's played it?
I like the direction you're going.
And that's her barbarian, like, unarmored defense, is just she's played it with this stuff.
Dude, yeah. All the way. No snakes, eels. I like eels. I do it. Yeah. A mohawk of snakes.
So, if you did eels, you could totally go the storm barbarian route, and it could shoot lightning.
Yes!
That's
yes!
It's kind of ridiculous, but I kind of love it.
I like the mohawk idea because that's how my wife has her hair. She has it shaved on both sides and the mohawk in the middle. So,
you're like so cropped on the side, just...
She really goes with the barbarian woman haircut. She shaves the sides and braids the middle into like a braided faux hawk looking thing. So I like the idea of a barbarian woman, a barbarian Medusa with a giant hammer going hardcore like that. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I love the idea that like she comes like slithering out of her like, I don't know, the ruins she's living in or whatever. Why do they always live in ruins? Come slithering out of the ruins.
No one wants a Medusa neighbor? Are you kidding me?
And she's just like smashing through old statues of people that have been, I don't know, stupid enough to go there. Where are you? Oh, yeah.
All right, so first things first, we're going to look at Medusa's dex and cons. Pretty nice. So she's going to have at least a 15 armor class. Actually, she's got natural armor. So I think if we make her a little more buff and say she's got like an 18 con and a 16 dex, that'll make her armor class higher than what it actually is right now.
Yeah.
And it'll be that kind of, I think, the feel we're looking for.
No renter salesman, ruins or perfect homes.
So this is definitely yeah. The taxes are great, and no one cares about zoning.
Do you know who Gallagher is?
Yes.
Gallagher Medusa, critical hits on watermelons only.
No, on stone people. And then they explode. There's stone bits everywhere. She does area attack spells.
Nice. That could be amazing.
So are we doing an electric Medusa?
I think yes. I think a storm.
She could live out on the coast.
We had other suggestions. We had bear totem. We had zealot. And there was one other that I saw that stuck out to me.
Zealot could be really cool. That could be a long-standing character if it's a zealot. That would be really neat.
Yeah, because she's crazy.
Yeah. She could actually be like protecting or like cultishly following or worshiping the thing that transformed her.
And Dubba's argument is make a zealot barbarian because I'm sure if she doesn't have a bow, she'd be a little crazy. She's not. I mean, she's taking on everything face to face. And if the hammer isn't nearby, she's a Medusa. Maybe she just rips it apart with her bare hands.
Well, she's got give her Tavern Brawler.
Tavern Brawler.
It's Ruins Brawler. I pick up a rock.
You. What is happening?
I see a rock. I pick it up and I hurl it at your face. It does D4 damage. Bam.
Dalton T500 said an electric eel Medusa. I still think the electric eel Medusa is a good idea.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about the storm. All right, so we're going to go over here. And we're going to go and try and zip down to it pretty quick. What was it? It's like Storm Aura. Storm Aura. There we go. So 3rd level, you get this Storm Aura. And if you pick C, so this would be like lives on the coastal crags or something. Mm-hmm. And where there's a lot of storms and things. It's just like native habitat. So there's the aura effect. And then that can actually slam down lightning bolts. They're not a lot, but you could also be like, well, when you're in melee combat, the electric eel heads can like blast you. And okay, so that's another thing. So we got this snake hair. We could just make this poison damage electric damage instead, lightning damage.
I like the idea of her like I imagine this Medusa being like huge and insanely muscular. I like the idea because the way the eel's electric charge works is it basically flexes its muscles. So what if she just like grimaced and flexed her muscles and all the eels stood up on end and just an electric charge came off of her? Just bzzz. Yeah. Yeah. She's awesome.
This is turning into a bit like a pro wrestler to me in my mind.
He's amazing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she just uses her fists if she doesn't she'll just use her fist if she doesn't
Totem warrior, and her totem is the Naga.
Oh, what does the Naga do?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's get back and look.
Barbarian electric gun show.
Look at these guns.
Exactly.
Firing off lightning bolts and stuff. That's a pretty good performance, actually, by herself. This is just going to be easier.
Take your time, Nate. Take your time.
Or it's not. Jump 2. Yes, thank you. That did not help me. Why is it so hard to find what I need? There we go.
You can do this. We believe in you.
Well, the Naga's not... Oh, is this Unearthed Arcana? Because that really doesn't help me. Looking at D&D Beyond for an Unearthed Arcana. Well, would the Naga mimic something if we wanted to make it a Naga? If you want... I'm just saying, like, for the person who wants to go the other way, instead of doing the storm... This storm bringer.
I like the idea of this being like she's not just your standard issue Medusa. Nobody's gonna expect her come barreling out like a restrictor or a constrictor. I mean, covered in scales.
Yeah, like Gorgon.
Just a brick of muscle with this giant hammer. Like, nobody's going to expect that.
Like the Gorgon, like the bull Gorgon.
Yeah.
Just like played it like that. And that's the unarmored defense. What about totemic attunement at 14th level? Bear, I think, because when you're raging, a creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you or another character with this feature. So enemies immune to this if they can't see or hear you or can't be frightened. Because basically it's like the Naga eyes kind of thing. And you are either attacking it directly or you're worried about it all the time. That it's going to strike at you and rip your face off.
Or smash your face off. One of the two.
Yeah, well in this case it would be smash. Kind of like punch so hard it tears, whatever you call it.
Punch so hard it tears? God. Yeah. She's a bruiser. That's absolutely right. She's a bruiser. That's what I want. Shocking grasp is good. Some area of effect from her hammer shockwave thing. Mm-hmm.
And here's another, like Wolf, you gain hunting sensibilities. Well, let's just say you can travel at a fast pace and you can move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace. So it's kind of like you've got the snake movement through the underbrush kind of feeling to you, but you're taking on the spirit of the Naga to move through terrain. So that could be it. Take the wolf instead of that. And then for the lower level one...
So you want to make her sneaky. I want to make her a brick.
Well, no. Ignore what we're actually making. I'm saying if you were going to do it like a Naga totem and you just wanted to rip the rules as written.
Oh, okay.
And pick the ones that kind of made sense. And I think using the dash action as a bonus action for taking the eagle. Because like I feel like the dash is like the darting forward, striking. Either that or take the tiger, and rather than a jump, it's just a lunge.
Brian Smith said she does CrossFit. How do you do
Ow.
CrossFit with a tail? Have you seen what they do with their legs?
Well, this Medusa doesn't. Oh, man. So take the tiger, and then instead of jumping, when you basically do the effect of a long jump, and you just lunge instead, like a super strike. All right, that was it for that one. But let's get back to the actual what we're doing here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's okay. It's all right. In the box. In the box. No, not in the box. In the box. In the box. Anything but in the box. Anything in the box. In the box.
Yeah. Don't ever say anything with someone who wants to explore that.
Oh God. Do you have to word it like that? Someone who wants to explore that. And now I'm sad on the inside.
I didn't say it like that. I didn't think it like that either. They could be like, give me all of your blood. Now.
What was that? That was I can't remember. Okay.
Right, this is a large amount of text to petrifying gaze.
Yeah, it's
We're
quite a
just gonna
bit.
Plop it in special abilities.
I like to call that a healthy amount of text. I want to make sure you have something to read. I don't want you to get bored.
Yeah. So it makes either 3 attacks, 1 with its snake hair and 2 with its Uber Maul. Does anything have a nice maul attack? Like 2-handed hammer attack that I can think of? Like an orc or something? I just want to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab the orcs. I'm going to grab the orcs great axe attack. Just slap it in there because I don't feel like...
That's an excellent idea.
I don't feel like typing it all up. There you go. Great axe. Bam. Just turn it to a great maul. Done. It's a great maul. It is. And it does.
That's a great maul you have there.
Bludgeoning. Whole bunch of bludgeon.
Whole bunch of bludgeoning damage. Just bludgeon
That
things.
I didn't spell right. Oh, and the thing I'm using to correct my bad spelling is Grammarly.
Grammarly is good for you.
Just it's so easy to use, and it's just really handy. I like
It's
it
there
a lot.
all the time.
Yeah, so I'll probably have to change the to hit and the bludgeoning, what it's going to do, and then also you're going to want to say, well, we can rage. That's an
Uncle
important
Peters said he's quickly popping in just to say hello, and he hopes you're feeling better, Nate.
Thank you. I am feeling better. I feel able to do this, which is about 10 times better than I did all the rest of this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. Again, I'm going to just snag the barbarian rage. You know what? I'm just going to reference it.
I'm just gonna. That's it. I'm done.
Barbarian rage. Barbarian. Barbarian. Cream. Donuts.
What about a half dragon that has dark vision?
Shadow sorcerer? We're going to make this thing like a dragon. Except not.
Except completely blind in the dark for no apparent reason. Done.
Hey, but they get something that's really cool for at least 3 levels.
Okay.
I think they get probably +3 rage damage.
Here's the picture of the Medusa from the Monster Manual. And I don't know how well that's going to show up on stream.
Oh.
Rawr.
Let's see if she comes out there.
Yeah,
There.
we'll see how it comes
I
out.
have done it instead.
But
There she is.
our Medusa does not look anything like that.
Oh, where did that go? I clicked on you for a reason.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah.
about...
So, as a reference,
Yes.
for those who don't know what Medusas are Gorgons. But so is this terrible thing. So we're taking this guy's plates, making them a little, a little thinner, more shapely, to be on a humanoid female form, and that's what she's got. Plus these, the mohawk of electric eels.
Hey, don't forget she's got muscles on top of her other muscles.
Yeah.
And next to those muscles, more muscles, because she's a beast. This is the brick death machine here with a giant hammer. Oh, God. Some of these things aren't smart enough to give a character class. But I want to give them a character class anyway. Quaggoth. Quaggoth look awesome.
Okay, so smart. What do you mean? Like, they don't have to be smart to have fighter levels. They're just, that makes them just more competent. No, we're not doing that, though. That's just mean. Okay, so major things I want to take away from this is the Barbarian Rage, the unarmed attack, unarmored defense, and the storm Barbarian lightning stuff. That's what I'm thinking are like the major things. Because if you say, even if it's a 6th level Barbarian and you're taking all this stuff, you're just taking way too much stuff and it just clogs up the monster too much. You don't want to, as a DM, you do not want to remember all that stuff.
Okay, this time, you guys pick the character class. Is there any limitation on character classes they could select, Nate?
I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
I guess they could be pretty specific too.
Yeah, you could be really, if you want a Spore Druid of the Grove or whatever, just pick a character class.
Pick something, please, that I can get a handle on in D&D Beyond, so that I don't have to try and hunt for a UA.
So,
for the UAs
pick a character class, and then we're going to pick a creature. And we're not going to make a flump. A flump barbarian.
Oh man,
so
the flumps.
Angry.
The flumps were so cool and flumpy in Doug's game. That was a lot of fun.
Cardboard Fortress had an idea that makes me want to go full stop and do it. All right, first we're gonna let you guys pick a character class, and then we're gonna pick a monster to go with it. But don't forget this idea. You ready? Etten, sorcerer one head, barbarian the other head. This is brilliant. This is brilliant.
Oh man, that's actually, I really like that.
Yeah, it's genius.
That is pretty cool.
You could do a Myconoid Druid of the Spore. There was Druid in there.
Oh, Myconoid Druid of the Spore would be really good combo.
Illusionist, Enchanter, Bard, Circle of the Moon Druid. That's Dave Miles. Oh, retracted. Wild Mage Sorcerer. Stone Sorcerer for the Stone Head. That would be that would be hype. All right, Soma. Swashbuckler would be a weird. Yeah, that would be fun with a weirdo creature combo. Hexblade Modron.
He's just got one of those weapons that's a gear.
Yeah, there we go. Lincoln Cho'Gall. Voltaire's Rewind said that new Shadow Ranger from Xanthar's Guide.
The Gloom, was that Gloom?
Werewolf Warlock. 2 W's. Can't miss. Named Wilford.
And what is it like?
WWW.
Attached to the goddess of shape changers like Lycanthropes?
Gloomstalker. A wild magic troll. How would that even work?
It worked beautifully.
Well, especially since half the time the wild magic effects that would really ruin your day won't hurt him.
Yeah. But think about if you turned him into a potted plant.
This potted plant, I haven't watered it in years. It just keeps growing.
Yeah, it ate everything else around the area.
Yeah, wild magic troll just seems so perfect for some reason. Yeah. Artificer Grell? Gloomstalker werewolf? That sounds like the name of a werewolf.
Yeah, Gloomstalker.
Don't go out in the moors tonight. Gloomstalker is afoot. That would be terrifying. I'm like, okay, I won't. I'm gonna stay in and drink this ale. You guys go. Yeah, I'm good.
Bad news.
I'd like a bath in my room. Yeah, no, I'm not going. You guys go. I'm going up to my bath. Hot water, please. Thank you.
Yeah, a hot bath and some soup.
In a bowl of soup.
Not any of that nonsense you guys are talking
Really?
about.
You
Keep
think
the XP, keep the
goes with a
treasure.
bath?
Huh?
Soup doesn't go with a bath to me. The liquids.
No, I mean, at least if you drop a hot dog, it floats, you know?
Oh, gross. I wasn't thinking that. God.
Sorry, I laughed too hard about that.
Falling apart. Like a steak on a tray.
Yeah, floaty tray. It could be, you know those sushi boats that you get? Oh man, I haven't ordered those in so long. I need a love boat for two. For me, for one. Love boat for two, please, for one.
The show ends. Came up with an awesome combination. An air elemental bard that carries wind chimes.
That's it. Stream's over. Go home. No, just kidding.
And then the stream just fell apart. It just became total chaos.
Oh, Cardboard Fortress, a light monk wraith. Will we make that necrotic and it would be like this black death lasers or something?
Do this.
Yeah?
Yeah, do this. Do this, and then we should do... If you do this and you hurry, we'll have a half an hour to figure out our two-headed, two different character class guy.
All right. I like the light monk wraith. We're just going to do it like Naga lightning. That's like an anime term right there.
Red cap. Twitch Monks Archive said red cap barbarian and scary.
Oh, yeah.
Monk mind flayer.
Ooh. Just does all kinds of stuff to you, grapples you, and just brain's gone. Your brain's gone.
Macer 200 just said, I thought these were on Fridays. We had to move the day from Fridays to Mondays.
No. Thursday to Monday.
Oh, God. Yeah, thank you.
Stop what you're doing.
I'm stopping what I'm doing. Right.
Friday is still...
yes.
That thing we do after dark.
Nerdarchy after dark. Literally named after Nerdarchy.
Something after dark. I'm not even on cough medicine, all right?
Are you feeling well?
No, I'm burning the candle at both ends right now. But I'm good. I'm feeling powered by the laser monk wraith.
There we go. There we go.
Which reminded me I'm looking for something.
Kuvarik clarified for us. Thank you, Kuvarik. I appreciate it, buddy.
Let's see how this will work out. Would they get a range? Doesn't the laser monk get arranged? I don't know. I've got to look at this now.
You got to glue it directly on top, verbatim.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're right.
Unkillable wraith death machine that shoots necrotic laser beams out its fingertips.
I thought it punched it, and it was just like... Whoosh.
So what would it look like if it's punching? Like when I think of a wraith, I think of like this wispy,
more like
aerial...
like everything's just getting mowed down with black
dark side.
Yeah, it's total dark side. That's what I'm thinking. But like more linear.
Okay.
Like pulses of dark side doom.
Oh, here's a really cool idea. Instead of retheming the lasers to dark, you could retheme the Wraith to light.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
That's very original. That's very different. I like that idea.
way of going, but let's see how we could get a undead to behave like that. Let's see. Well, let us start with the important bits.
Oh, white light Wraith with Gundam missile pod style beams. Those Gundam missile pods are Robotech style missile pods. Thank you, sir. But yeah, Macer, we had to move Monster Mash. We didn't move Nerdarchy After Dark. I always mix my days up.
Yeah, so it's Friday now. It's Friday at 9, Sunday at 9. I almost said the wrong time. And Monday at 9.
It's not like we have a work schedule and punch card somewhere. We're just supposed to remember and call each other when it's the right time to do stuff. That does not always happen.
And we didn't have holidays until we talked about what we're going to do when Christmas rolls around.
And I will say there has already been a text message. I'm not going to say who sent the message or who received the message, but there was at one point a text message of, hey, you coming? Like, we're as well organized as it's going to get.
Yeah, well, both those days I was just in the...
Dave Miles said an angelic spirit guardian would be a way to like refit the Wraith from necrotic to radiant. Right. Wolf of Light, absolutely. Robotech Macross. Oh man.
So we're gonna obviously get rid of the sunlight sensitivity. And Carbo Fortress, you're on board with this lightification? I guess since you said light.
Pretty sure it was his idea.
It was Light Monk. I guess he,
yeah.
Rather than make it dark, he wanted to do that. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so we've got important things. Now, it wouldn't create a specter then. Maybe it could summon the dead, like spirits. Okay, like like Valkyrie Valhalla style.
Oh, so willing spirits who are like, my greatest honor was to die in battle, and now my greatest honor is to be summoned again to fight for my ancestors or whatever. Okay,
so it'd be like it would be like a specter level powered thing, but it would be, we could just color it the same way and make it, radiant.
Powered by hugs and little cute fluffy things. Shoots rainbows out its fingertips. No. That's Nate's disapproving. Okay.
No, I mean, if it had rings on its fingers, they would kind of, split into rainbow if it was.
Oh my god.
Some cubic zirconians there, some quartz. Then prismatic spray. Prismatic spray. What do you think? Hooray! So we're making a note. Switch this to good.
Switch this to good. We're just making a note.
Good times. Yeah.
Append good here.
I'm not good on the details right now.
Take any evil person in history. Append good here.
Yeah. People know what we're telling. Okay. So life drain. Would it just be like smite? I think it would be smite instead.
Heal.
Smite.
Let it heal people. I mean, this thing's probably going to be showing up to help lawful players.
Yeah, but it's like righteousness. Like if Wraith
you
is
show
like
up
wrath, then
after I'll build a scene for you here. You show up after a traveling army has made its way through a village. They've slaughtered people, taken advantage of the townsfolk, pillaged the town, and then left it to burn on their way through. And floating from villager to villager is this white, ethereal creature, like healing people, and just whispering words they can't quite understand, but they feel like everything's going to be okay.
Okay.
This is me floating through town.
Okay.
I'm making a sound too.
I'm seeing it and I'm hearing it. Don't know if I'm picking it up though. Oh no. I like that idea. But monks don't have healing abilities.
We're taking the Wraith ability and just retooling it though.
Yeah, okay.
This isn't the monk part yet. The monk part will be the smush people with your ninja fists.
Got it. All right.
Wraithy punch of doom thing. You know what I'm saying? It'll still have plenty of offensive capability.
Okay. Got it. Oh yeah, the smite. Yep, I got it. Some heal here. We'll just actually chop this away and put it in special abilities.
Cardboard Fortress has some good visuals going right now. Could animate weapons of fallen foes instead of creating wraiths, like Eastern Warrior Spirit type deal. Is what Cardboard Fortress said. Floating charms and wards and scrolls swirling around it.
Yeah. So we could say.
We could say you don't want to be an evil player in the world in which this exists.
Animates weapons of the fallen.
Yeah, instead of summoning wraiths.
Instead of making specters. So, and then we could say it's kind of like specter level power, as far as
exactly.
what it does as damage and things.
How well it fights, what damage it does, etc.
Yeah. All right. Let's now that we've kind of altered it, let's slap in some of the.
Oh, we're slapping it in.
Slapping it in.
I really like the idea of the mildly scary, mostly healy, wispy thing. I mean, players would know right away if they saw it flying around and healing people that it was a good thing. The question is, would they immediately go up and try and talk to it, or would they be too scared to do so? My players would be like, I take out my sword, I charge the blob of experience points. How much is this worth again? Those are my players. Are townsfolk worth anything? Okay, then I guess they can live then.
So Cardboard Fortress talks about making a monster mash that is a scroll golem, or making just monster creation. The good old scroll golem from back in the day. It is a cool monster, and in fact, Megan R. Miller, an author that writes for our site, helped me with Patreon one of the recent months, and I think 2 months ago, and it was a scroll golem kind of thing. And it came with a ritual, and you use different level spell scrolls to summon it. As part of the casting of the spell, the scroll was consumed, and it created them from like the ragged different loose pages and things. And it was like kind of it was a trap monster, as in it would come out based on some kind of contingency that you've set in place. Not the actual spell, but just like a set of parameters. You say like trigger if XYZ thing happens. Excuse me.
All right then.
All right, looking at Wraith, this is a 5. That's like, so minimum of 5 is what it's going to be. It's most likely going to be higher. And we're going to say it is celestial in nature.
Okay. Brian Smith said, I love the way you could threaten the, quote, I'm an evil PC murder hobo and scare everyone with this goodly spirit. There aren't enough, like, who would buy a monster manual that was completely filled with benign or celestial or good things? None of this stuff wants to fight good players. Who would buy that monster manual?
I hope you're not asking me.
I'm just saying, like, as a thought experiment, who would buy that? Would anyone want it? I don't know. Interesting thing to consider. James Leslie said he would.
Because those can always be companions to people. They can be antagonists to people. 6.
Cardboard Fortress, I will raise your concept. You could make it seem like it was good, but actually not. It gives out temporary hit points, but you think it gives you real healing.
Ooh-hoo. And
it just wants you to keep fighting until you die. So I gave players this stuff they found in the woods. It's just like these weird fairy mushrooms, and they started eating the fairy mushrooms, and the fairy mushrooms would heal them. But if you used the fairy mushrooms to heal yourself every time you use them, and it healed any amount of hit points, I would make a mark. And then at the end of the week, everyone's constitution dropped that much. And I had one person with 2 constitution left.
Oh my gosh. Was it like exhaustion? It came back eventually, or is that just their new constitution?
No. It came back eventually. They had to stop eating the mushrooms. But the players, and there were people who hung on to them and was like, in a pinch.
It'd be a nasty poison. Think about it.
Yeah.
You feel great. You've cured the king with like 15 doses of this sucker. Yeah. And he just, boom, drops dead when it activates.
Yeah.
So, healing, so it would be just temporary. Let's see, temporary hit points.
How's it going, Kiba? How you doing, buddy?
And would you say it also charms, or is it like a charm effect? Or they just like feel like they can just go attack?
What do you mean by a charm effect?
For this healing that makes them think
that the hit points are permanent?
Yeah.
No, they just think the hit points are permanent. You were saying you want to give the player a chance to figure out they're not real? They're not permanent hit points?
Or that you'd have to make a note. It's a new mechanic to give out temporary hit points that you don't know are temporary. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, handle it like a charm then.
Or really, maybe it's just, you gotta just not metagame. But, you know what? Maybe they disappear after a certain amount of time. That would be probably
exactly. I think the player, no, there are few people who are going to be like, I know that I have temporary hit points, but my character doesn't. So I'm just going to keep fighting.
Very few. So let's do its hit points. But, if you are reduced to 0 during the next, no wait, I don't have the brain power to word this correctly right now. DM note. These aren't real, sucker.
These are. I think if you handled it like a charm or an illusion, Cardboard Fortress set an illusion, I think that would be a very clear way to handle it. The problem is you have to make the players make a check without knowing what they made a check for. And it's going to be up to the GM to be a super smooth GM and get you to make that check, but not immediately after you get healed.
Yeah, probably when you decide to go fight.
Right.
That would be the thing.
When you put yourself in more immediate danger, that's when you'd make the roll. Because if you're going to tip them off. If you're like, now you go back to fight and that'll be fine. But if you heal them and say, make a check, they're going to be like, what did it do to me?
This wasn't regular healing. What's going on?
Yeah, everybody else get healed. I need someone to pass this check.
And the whole idea with not making them temporary hit points is so that they don't metagame that. They're not actually helping them.
Yeah.
Because I got heroism effect the other day in Doug's campaign, and I tried to count it as just regular hit points. I was just like, well, it doesn't matter to me anyway. Mm-hmm. So I was already down, so it was really easy to just add 10. So I just added 10, and they treated them like regular hit points. So if they were to disappear later, I'd be like, where'd my hit points go?
When it heals you, you make a will save to know what's happened. I roll those behind the screen personally, but that is a greater problem.
That's the issue. Like, you're wanting to kind of dupe them. So when you really want to dupe a PC, you dupe the player.
Yeah.
That's my tip for today.
Your tip thank you for that tip. You got to be cunning. You've got to be cunning because you're not trying to kill the players.
You're just trying to kill the player characters.
Imagine if the player dies. Yes. If the player dies, they would be very upset.
Yeah, well, that's why you give them the save, but it's an intelligence save. I would think an intelligence save is good.
Brian Smith had a very interesting take on this. Make a roll when you haven't attacked the same way as how when rage ends. That's a really, really smart way to do this. When combat ends, maybe you don't even need to make a save. You instantly realize that you've been duped.
Oh, like when you're not in the thick of it and you're out of the like fight or flight.
No saving throw. As soon as you get out of it, you realize that you're not as healed as you thought you were. I think that's very clean, very efficient.
Well, it hasn't duped you. It's just edged you on towards greatness that you almost died from. That greatness almost killed you.
Why are we giving this creature of light nefarious abilities?
No, it's like heroism, but they don't last. So if you know, it's like the guys that the people that go out and they fight and they fight and they fight, and then they realize I've taken a mortal wound, but they're not dead until after the fight.
I like Brian Smith's take on this. I think it's simple, it's clean, it's easy to use. You're out of combat, you instantly know that you've got temporary hit points.
But what if you see somebody fall down? You know, like would that say like, well, wait a minute, they were just fixed? You know what I mean? Like,
well, the only reason you'd see them fall down is if they got damaged past their cap. You know what I'm saying? So you'd think it was whatever damaged them, whatever the last thing that hit them was.
All right, radiant sunbolts.
Brian Smith said, "Nate, personal trainer, edging you on to greatness. I need 5 more reps. You can do this, man." No, I have no idea.
You could swing that sword a couple more times. Think about all the people that will be saved with your action. Doesn't take much to get some people to do stupid stuff in terror situations, you know? Like, where you've got to either decide to run or fight. If someone says, go fight, it's the best thing to do. You'll save people.
And I like Cardboard Fortress's description of the mechanic. When combat ends, you take damage equal to what it healed. The trick is realizing in the action that it is overextending you. Realizing that that's what just took place. Yeah, and Jay Spence makes a good argument. They'd still have the chance to get a real healing spell hit them at some point in combat, drink a potion at some point during combat. So,
Kind of ends. I'm just gonna snag your stuff, Cardboard Fortress, because I'm not copying it right based off what Kienata said.
This thing is feeling more and more like a mythological Valkyrie. The whole aspect of this thing is encouraging you to fight harder and riskier because you think it's healing you. Exactly. The Valkyrie, and it could be that this thing thinks this is the best thing for you. You want to fight. It's making it so that you're fearless and able to fight. It is technically with a monkey paw helping you fight. You charge back in there fearless. You're at full hit points.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to just give it spell-like abilities for the Burning Hands ability. And
dude, I could make a whole adventure around this thing. One of these things is traveling with an army. The king is like dying of some illness, and the Valkyrie keeps him alive so he can keep some like old blood feud going, and the army keeps moving forward. Just dead warriors everywhere. Oh, God. It's beautiful. It's an enabler. Yes.
Everything's going to be all right. Just get back out there. It'll all work out. Their damage resistances are quite significant. These are not easy things to kill. Especially now that they're like, what is it? No, they're not. They're not. I thought they were vulnerable to radiant. That's shadows, I think.
Add a couple levels of monk, and here we go. We've got our perfect Valkyrie that encourages you to keep fighting until you die. And no player's going to know that this thing is, they're not going to know this is what it is. I would encourage you to put light encounters in when you have one of these things backing your group of players. Of course, that could be bad too, because then the players are like, oh, we can handle, 10 hobgoblins.
They'll find out sometime.
They figure it out the hard way.
Yeah. The first guy that gets crit and actually just dies flat out. That would be kind of bad. No, that they'd realize it right after the fight. It's not long. It's definitely not long term. This is like,
Yeah.
you summon this thing to go into battle because you want to give everybody a little last huzzah, or make them think that you're souping them up. Then the people that live will say weird things happened that day.
It shows up as an ally in pitched battles. Imagine it haunting battlefields in old monasteries. Just floating through the battlefield, some dude's like down holding his intestines in, and it whispers something at him, but you can't understand it. And he just stands up and goes barreling into battle, and you're like, that guy's lost his mind.
Hey, he tucked his intestines back in first. So that's
exactly.
Good. All right, I'm looking for what we're going to take out of this monk class. And I'm coming up a little short on what it's. I guess we could do the like that. It gets a multi-attack and can like hurl bolts of radiance.
Right. Yes.
And that's what we're just gonna go with. And I'm just gonna grab it from the monk thing.
I think this is great for you for when you're fighting something that is a little too hard for you. It functions as an ally with a twist. Interesting. So you win the battle, you get the loot, you grab some XP, but in the end of the battle, you have two people who are basically going to be in medically induced comas because their bodies are now failing. We need healing spells right away. This dude's not looking good.
3 healing spells, please, right here.
Our fighter, she's down. We need to get some heals on her. If the creature actually knows, if the PC actually knows, I'm sorry, I've read so much chat today. If the PC actually knows the risk of accepting the creature's help and yet takes it, that could lead to some cool role playing. I couldn't agree with you more. That is brilliant. Absolutely.
I think we're going to be a high enough level where we can pick it, and it's not going to be a D4. It's going to be more like a D8. Is that what I'm thinking at?
And this is one of those creatures where
level.
The players might interpret the temporary hit points as nefarious and attack the creature, which makes how nasty it is all the more hilarious. That's it. We're killing this thing. If you want, let me crack out the books here. Your call. Oh, Cardboard Fortress. Great description. As the adrenaline wears off and the dragon's corpse cools, 2 of your allies suddenly notice their wounds and drop to the ground. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah. Right out of a book. Perfect. Imagine if somebody does lifesteal when somebody's affected by the mushroom. I didn't have any weird mechanics going on during the mushroom event. That I think everybody was like level 2 or 3 when they had the mushrooms, and they were so excited. They were like, nobody. The thing is, me as a player, I would be questioning why the GM chose to give me literally like 40 healing potions
because they're nice.
Like what is going on here? But they never questioned it. They were just, sweet, these are awesome, this is great. Okay.
Ooh, bonus to death saves around it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That sounds delicious.
Put that right at the end. You make it with, what if you make it with advantage? That's kind of really powerful, but rather than a bonus. Or like a D4, like a blast almost for saving for death saves.
I'm just gonna hang tight and wait for the feed to come back.
Sure. Gain advantage. I think that's. Yeah, that's above your head.
I believe we are live again.
Yeah, we're looking good. So let's
Curtis
say
Stinson said we're back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. Every once in a while, the internet explodes.
Better that it explodes in the last little bit than like 3 times in the beginning, which it has done before. Let's say in a 30-foot radius, all creatures gain advantage on death saves.
Mm-hmm. Jay Spence, as a player, don't be paranoid, but always be worried. It's hard to be a good role player if you're paranoid all the time. You'll do a lot of weird things. But if you're always a little concerned about what the GM's up to, that's a healthy fear. Like being scared of snakes, spiders, and high places. It's a normal human fear. The GM is up to something. Just assume that.
So thanks for crafting so much of this Cardboard Fortress.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's I think it's looking good. I like we went the Radiant route instead of the other way around. And you know what? At least say this is like a 13.
Pet Shop said, what's the topic tonight? The title kind of confuses me. We are taking a creature and then we're slopping a character class on top of it. A player character class. This creature was a Wraith crossed with a monk. It evolved.
110 hit points. Ooh, man. I didn't even. I could have added more technically, but I don't want to make it a ridiculous powerhouse. We're going to say that add 7. The 2 of there. There we go.
Ropes to hang yourself. Yeah.
I am running low on the Go Juice.
On Steam, are you run out of power?
I'm running out of power.
Okay.
Metaphorically speaking. So I would like cool names for some of this stuff. You can either put it in the chat or put it in the comments later, or you can put it over on Discord and just state your business. And I'm sure someone's going to slap a link to Discord somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, well,
you're good. You're good.
We'll figure it out. You know what? I think there's probably a link someplace. Somewhere, someplace, sometime, there is a Discord link. It's actually in the description for YouTube. So there you go. So right now we got Righteous Light Wraith, but that's not.
It's not the final name. I think Valkyrie, personally. I think this thing mentally makes me think Valkyrie. I feel really good about it.
Okay.
And thank you, James Leslie, for dropping all the links, homie.
Man, Butcher and Valkyrie, pretty hardcore. There we go.
Valkyrie.
I got it right. I was like one letter off.
The link doesn't work. That is the magic of YouTube. If you click the link a few times, it will work. YouTube links in chat are always nefarious little critters. They don't always want to work.
Yeah, or it's making me think that it's one that expires.
Yes.
Because we have done things like that before. Well, some of us have done things like that before.
Not I see.
No.
Oh, all right. Here, I'll do one.
It works.
I'm gonna add another.
It works.
Does work. Okay, cool.
Totally works. It's fine.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, YouTube doesn't want you to leave. So it makes total sense that they're like, oh, someone clicked once and the link doesn't work, so they won't click again. Or 3 times or whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Battle Fury.
Battle Fury.
You know, that's good times.
That'll work.
Yep.
And
can we spell it with an IE?
Sure, why not? We can do whatever we want. We have all the power.
Well, you know, we could just call it a Fury. There's not a monster in 5e for that. And it sounds kind of like a Fury.
All right, I'm in. Battle Furry. No.
Fury.
We have I like our Medusa barbarian.
Yeah, that's your favorite?
Thunderstruck.
I think it's really cool. I'm gonna steal it and put it in my game when we go down to when they go to fight pirates or something.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get those guys out as Astoria. Unless they're watching, then you're gonna stay in Astoria for as long as you want.
Mm.
Now I'm talking about my Hold of the Mordaids campaign.
Don't do that. Don't spoil. No spoilers.
Which I need to absolutely edit this week. I'm going to take a block of a couple hours. I'm going to edit a couple episodes and get them on this weekend. But anyway, we are running down to the wire. I'm going to cut it early because I'm having trouble thinking. I'm a bit tired.
Okay. That's okay.
I want to go take some kind of medication before taking a nap, hopefully.
We love you. We want you to be okay.
Yes, so thank you for joining us. I would usually do a recap, but aside from Fury and Electric Medusa, I don't remember any of the rest of them right now. Oh, we added fighter levels to a Goblin. We barbarianified a Medusa and made it the Sea Storm, made it electric eels instead. We just finished a Fury, which is like a light Wraith monk, laser monk.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did we do?
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, thank you for joining us, and wherever you are watching. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.